Chapter 44, Moving Day. Gojo and Geto feasted on the udon noodle soup that Gojo picked up after a stop at the school infirmary. Shoko was out on medic duty with another sorcerer group, but Gojo found what he needed and made sure Geto took the pain meds. They ate on the balcony again, slurping their soup in silence. "I want to call my parents," Geto said abruptly. "What are you going to tell them? They think you're in a coma. Admin wouldn't allow them to come visit you." "I've had a miraculous recovery," Geto said dryly. Gojo handed him his cell phone and started gathering their dinner dishes. He would pack their stuff for the move while Geto was preoccupied. Geto looked at the phone and blushed. Gojo had used his photo as the phone wallpaper, and his own smiling face was reflected back at him. He opened the keypad and stared. He couldn't remember his home phone number. So much for a miraculous recovery. "Couldn't reach them?" Gojo asked when Geto returned to the room. "Not exactly." He handed the phone back. Gojo's belongings fit into 2 large suitcases and a duffel bag. Geto's things were packed quickly into his 2 suitcases. The dorms didn't have elevators, so they would have to carry everything down 3 flights of stairs. Gojo eyed Geto cautiously. Geto took the pain meds, but he couldn't tell how bad he was really feeling. He was moving kind of slowly. He also snapped at Gojo a few times when it was suggested he rest and Gojo would take care of everything. As they carried their luggage down the hall, a small group of students suddenly burst through the stairwell door and lumbered down the hallway, their chit-chat and laughter echoing against the walls. Geto gasped and pressed his body against the wall. Gojo moved their things out of the way as the students passed right by their veil. The last person in the group turned around and looked in their direction, but she shrugged and went back to talking with her friends. They continued onto the stairwell and down to the first floor, where their new home was located. Gojo shoved his suitcases through the door and flung his duffel bag into the middle of the room. He grabbed Geto's suitcases and wheeled them in. Geto was about to walk in when Gojo blocked his way and picked him up. Geto found himself hoisted up in Gojo's arms. "Don't you dare!" Geto tried to sound threatening, but it was too late. Gojo carried him across the threshold. "Honey, we're home." Gojo kissed him on the cheek and put him down. Geto shoved him and muttered a swear word or two under his breath. Gojo laughed and set up a barrier around their room. As promised, the room was bigger and there was a small bathroom near the entrance. They had a refrigerator and a microwave. Everything else was set up like Gojo's old room had been. They unpacked, and after the last suitcase was set on top of the closet, they finally got ready for bed. Geto was exhausted and burrowed under the covers of his bed. Gojo shut the lights off and climbed into his own bed, wishing he suggested to Geto that he could stay with him. He would get his wish a few hours later when he heard Geto get out of bed and walk over to him. Gojo turned over and lifted his blanket up. Geto climbed in and snuggled in close. "How's your ass?" Gojo blurted out. "Satoru, what the hell?" Geto tried to scold him, but he started laughing. Gojo chuckled. After a moment of silence, Gojo's tone turned serious. "Suguru," Gojo began, "I didn't mean to hurt you." "You didn't hurt me." "I felt you wince, and there was blood. I don't want you to go through that again." Geto grabbed a fistful of Gojo's shirt in his hand. Gojo's eyes went wide. "So that's it? You'll never touch me again because you think I'm fragile?" The fury in Geto's voice was unmistakable. Gojo put his hand gently over Geto's fist and waited for his grip to relax. "I just didn't want you to regret letting me in. Are you still going to want to?" Gojo asked. "I still want you, even if it hurts sometimes, especially if it's you." Geto let go of the shirt. Gojo held on to Geto's hand and pressed it against his heart.